Hello everybody, my name's Ryan and I'm a driving instructor, and today more secrets of the A189. So more secrets of the A189. What's all that about? Well, funny enough you should mention that. Before we go any further, like, comment and subscribe. I made a video about the A189, about a little bit about its history, little stuff that I found out off of the interwebs. And somebody has actually posted on it. So they've actually put in that, well, let's read the messages. From Jack King 5567, an interesting video. My dad and his friends worked on the construction of the A189 spine road, the initial version. Dad was part of a concreting team, specifically drainage systems, though sometimes they'd be called in to deal with urgent tasks, such as old mine shafts. When the route was first scraped back topsoil and subsoils, the dozers would sometimes expose uncapped and unmapped mine shafts. Dad and his team would be called in to cap those exposed mine shafts, and there were many. The drains were constructed way over the top. Drainage pipes were too big for the road, and added to that, they would be completely encased in concrete. The reason being possible mining subsidence that might buckle the pipes. Them being strong and too big ensured that drainage would continue regardless. They needed maintaining, and this is why recently we saw the road flooded several times. The council failed to maintain the clearance of that silt. I was little when Dad helped build the road, but I do remember him bringing back homework with him some nights. There were plans of the drains, and Dad had a frustrating task of calculating gradients due to plan changes. I remember him getting a bit shouty. So that implies that the plan was changed slightly. It happens sometimes in construction. Another memory I have is one day after finishing his work, our back door was wedged open and several of his friends rolled in 2 massive chunks of coal, and they left them on our kitchen floor. They trenched through a coal seam at bedside and decided that the coal was fair game. Mum would go into the kitchen, hammer off a few clumps of coal and put them on our fire. The name the spine road. Dad always told us that it was to be much like how we think of an arterial road, the main road with smaller roads branching off. The idea of a spine was due to the thinking that it would become a more solid road, more set in its roots and less flexible to having its route altered. The reason being that any development that would follow would prevent any realignment of this route. Dad told me he was on the team that capped a high-pitched shaft. The shaft was not in the way of the road, but it was decided to cap it while the equipment was nearby. Dad reckoned the cap they plugged it with, much like a top hat upside down, was one of the biggest shaft caps they'd done. I forget the concrete cubic yardage, but it was a lot. The reinforcing bar was mostly steel rails from old mineral lines, railway lines. Just south of Moor Farm roundabout along the A19, the road passes over Seaton Burn. The culvert is unique. Those earlier roads were groundbreaking in many ways, including the methods of concrete forms. The culvert for the burn is massive and is triangular in shape. I can't solve the leaflet now, but they followed that culvert construction and it's fascinating. A footpath runs past it off Mill Lane, the lane over to Seg Hill, and you can see it as the path passes over. The raised sections of dual carriageway were built using colliery spoil, in particular stone and shale. That's why once massive local colliery spoil heaps, limiting to 300 feet due to the nearby airport, are so small today. The colliery spoil heap at New Hartley, the Hastings pit, was bought by a bloke from Newcastle. We know this because to celebrate he visited the village club, proudly announcing he'd bought it. The stone and shale from that heap was used for the foundation of the now demolished ministry buildings at Benton. The local roads are fascinating and have many stories to tell. So what do we think about that? Amazing, isn't it? A little bit more insight into the A189. Who'd have thought all that extra work that went into creating that road, that all those mine shafts, and really quite interesting. And like the person has said, they thought that there was even more stories in there. Really interesting. And a definition of why it's the spine road. Of course, we have discovered off somebody else that the A19 wasn't really supposed to go that way, that it was supposed to go further round, and that other roads, and by the time it went to the actual building of the thing, the plans were already sorted out 5 years before. This person probably doesn't even know about the alternative routes or the alternative guesses. There's no way they could know. I found this out like on a random forum for like 20 years ago, about saying that the A19 was supposed to go north, roughly past where the hospital is at the minute. Now I am trying, or attempting, to do a little what's wrong with this roundabout about Moor Farm. That might have some detail in it. I haven't got any plans or maps. I've just got this one post about somebody thought that the A19 went in the wrong direction, and that's what's kind of wrong with the Moor Farm roundabout, is that, yeah, they thought it was going to take a different route. Anyway, it's just a continuation of that old video. If you like what I do, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. So more secrets of the A1.